Welcome back to Stories from the River. This is Kelly Jones. I am the Senior Manager of Retail Operations for Broad River. We are going to continue on with our interview with Charlie Malouf from the Retail Operations meeting that we had on September 18th. During the interview, you're going to hear Josh continue to ask some of his personal and professional questions of Charlie, but you're also going to hear questions from the audience asking him about additional items, including the future of Broad River and where we might be headed in the next few years. So please enjoy.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
How do you stay connected to what's happening on the ground, as it were, in all these different stores? You know, I mean, I'm privileged because you come to Pineville pretty frequently, but other stores that may not be so accessible, especially Spokane.
Yeah, I just do undercover boss.
Yeah.
The sad part is I could probably do that and maybe get away with it.
You might.
It's a challenge because the further you rise in an organization, the more you get away from the feedback on the ground floor, and so we have objective measures of trying to get feedback through engagement surveys and pulse surveys, and doing a lot of surveys, and we like to say feedback is a gift, and we do surveys after town halls, and we try to get a pulse of what's going on, try to speak with our leaders, what they're hearing, but also try to challenge them to make the decision. In some decisions, hey, look, they can be reversible. Like if it's an irreversible decision, I want to get involved. Or if it's something I've got to live with for the next 10 years, I need to get involved. But if it's not, be an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur within your four walls and take ownership of it. So, so then what's really important for me is to make sure that I hire really good people, or that we hire really good people. And so, I sit in on every GM interview, or at least 90+% of them, that Manny or I is going to meet with every potential AGM or GM candidate. And so we meet with a lot of leaders. I meet with Retail 101. Manny or I will meet with our Retail 101 classes. But it's hard. It's really hard. I could spend. We haven't done an Orange Crush tour in a long time. Some of you guys probably remember that. Mm-hmm. Some of you don't. We've talked about doing it again, and I'm like, well, it won't be a 3 or 4 week deal, because the last time we did it was a 4-week deal. It might be an 8-week deal, but maybe I'll get the RV and fire it up and go store to store, take the tour bus. That would be a lot of fun, actually. Those would be some of the ways, Josh. I'm open for ideas for other ways to try to get feedback at what I need to hear and listen to. Of course, sometimes I just get the customer complaints, but you get a sense when you walk into a store, or when stats don't lie a lot of times, KPIs don't lie. And if you look at KPIs over a large data set, you kind of get a sense. If you go sit in a GMRX, you kind of get a sense of what's taking place. I attend most Saturday morning Showtime Saturday calls. I attend every weekly GM call that I can. Even if I'm on vacation, I might just be listening in. So I'm just trying to kind of keep my ear on the pulse of what's going on, what's taking place. I get inspired by a lot of them a lot of times. I was traveling yesterday, so I missed the Win Wednesday call, but I'll try to jump on some of those sometimes too. Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said about hiring people that are going to be the best fit for that role. And I wanted to see, what's the best advice you've gotten from someone that you oversee or manage? Yeah, I wrote down some stuff on this. Yeah. Because you had a lot of questions here, and I think I'm done with these books. I might have to set those down. Okay, I got a few. Let me see if I can't find where I printed those out. Oh, it was the very first question, Josh. I don't know why it was right in front of me. I'm sorry. That's the other thing is, when you get older, you can't see. It's one of the most frustrating things about getting older is the adaptation to readers. And you're like, what? I mean, I look at labels now, I'm like, who thought to print it in 2.5? I mean, it's unbelievable. It's the worst. I know I used to be able to see that, and now I can't. Okay. So take care of your eyes. Whatever you have to do with blue screens and blue lights, whatever. Good advice. Yeah. That's free advice. Yeah. Okay. I had to, so Bill Woodman, initially with Project Cascade, it was going to be a separate legal entity, like Broad River Retail West, LLC. And that was Bill's initial suggestion, and then he changed his mind on it. And and for good reason. And I was like looking at it from like, well, I don't know, Bill. I don't want this to like in any way muddy the waters on our core business here. It's going to be a standalone test needs. I was like, I want to sign leases under Broad River Retail West, and just he presented the case. We talked about it back and forth. Talked to our tax advisors and our corporate attorneys, and he was right. And so it's not two separate entities. It's not two different bank accounts. It's all Broad River Retail LLC. So he had me convinced the first time, Broad River Retail West, and I was locked in on that. And then he got me to change my mind on it, and I think that was really good advice. I think Stacy's given a couple things. He came into our program with our progression on the HFA to HFE, and we had a gap on senior GMs, and he created the whole. He came up with the idea for the senior sales manager. I think that's the right title. Senior sales manager is what he came up with. The SRSM. Let's get all these out. We have so many acronyms.
We do.
We have so many acronyms. And also he gave advice on like, hey, Charlie, I think we can increase our secret sauce targets when it was applicable and sooner than I would have thought or implemented. And I shared with you guys earlier. It was in 2021 or something, and somehow I used to never eat oatmeal, and he referenced like to eat oatmeal, and I gave it a shot, and like that's actually been a great life-changing habit for me is to eat oatmeal. That advice came from Stacy. I got to give him credit for that. Another one he gave me is I think it was back in 2021. The last time it was 4 years since I took my family to an Ole Miss game in Oxford. The last time was also in 2021. He said, "Hey, you ought to call Chad Spencer. He could probably get you tickets and get you all these accesses." And he was right. I called Chad and I got hooked up, and it was Chad's a friend of mine, but I wouldn't have thought to call him. And then another advice. This isn't someone who I manage, but it's kind of our podcast agency. The whole passion project with the podcast thing was I love podcasts. I wanted to start. I had wanted to start one for like 3 years. I didn't know how to get into it. Over the holidays, one year, decided to look into podcast agencies and came across one. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to do this. Like it's just you'll never see me. We're just going to do audio because I wasn't doing the whole YouTube thing, and I was just listening on Apple or Spotify. And they're like, no. You got to do YouTube. You got to leverage that channel, and I pushed back. It's like, I don't know about that. But now a lot of your popular podcasts are on YouTube, and so I think we were a little bit early on that, and I think their advice was sound and right. Their advice on how to do it initially like to kill me, so they're wrong on that. We're like do 4 interviews a day and do them once a month. That was more challenging, but they're right on. Leveraging the YouTube platform. It does add more complexity to it, though.
Well, it sounds like you're open to advice, and you're adaptable and flexible, which that's a very
strong beliefs loosely held.
Yeah. Well, let's switch it up. Let's ask some of our more lighthearted questions. Do you like coffee?
Yes, I do.
All right, your coffee order, is it simple or complicated?
I would say it's simple. Others who've heard me order it would say it's complicated. Okay, so I like cappuccinos.
Okay.
My wife will prefer, she likes cappuccinos, but she might do a cortado if they have them. Or she'll do drip coffee. We have an espresso machine, and 80-90% of the time I'm doing a double espresso cappuccino. So I'll do my own milk and froth, and so that is simple. I am putting a little bit of sugar-free vanilla in it. If I go to Starbucks, which I'll give you my Starbucks order because you have to kind of give them a little bit more direction.
Yes.
You go to a local coffee shop that kind of knows really good coffee. I hate to say that Starbucks doesn't. I don't mean that to offend anyone, but I don't have to give as much direction.
Yeah.
So I was in Chicago for the Synchrony event, and they have one of the 5 or 6 Starbucks Reserve roasteries.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of these?
Yes.
And it's on Michigan Avenue. And I've always wanted to see it. So I went there. So I learned because in between sessions, someone said, they drive me. I went to the Starbucks place. Oh, it's just a 5-minute walk. I said, oh, okay. So I said, well, I'm going to get up early tomorrow morning and go because they open at 6:30. And breakfast is at 7. Then I can head to the airport. Well, I get there at 6:30, and it's a 5-4. It's in a former Crate and Barrel. It's a 5-story place. Well, the store floors 2 through 5 don't open until 8 a.m. So I only got to go on the first floor, which is like any other local Starbucks or coffee shop. And they also didn't have sugar-free flavors, which is also a little weird. But my typical Starbucks order, if I go there, and I don't go there often, would be a triple grande cappuccino with non-fat milk, sugar-free vanilla, dry and extra hot. That's not that complicated, is it?
No. I mean, I worked for Starbucks for a while, so it made sense to me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the most complex order that you took at a Starbucks?
Probably someone ordering a latte with a lot of different syrups, and they wanted it prepared a very specific way, upside down.
Upside down. Somebody was telling me that at this event, he goes, I go to Starbucks once a week. He goes, I work out 6 days a week. I go to the gym at 6 a.m. But on Fridays, I don't work out. That's my day off. And that's my Starbucks day. And they know exactly what I want. He was going through this whole order. He's like, they stopped making this salted caramel thing. But the barista told me, because they know me, they say, well, just order it with this, with some salted caramel foam. It's like the same way we used to make it. So he was super excited to have discovered that. But I just saw, so Brian Nichols trying to turn around Starbucks, and hopefully he does, but they're going to have protein foams.
Yes,
yeah, so
I saw that as well.
Everyone wants protein, so they're trying to get more healthier, and I think he'll do a good job. I think he'll turn them around. But I don't know if he'll get it back to what they were.
Yeah, I actually saw the protein thing, and they tried that quite a few years ago with a pea protein that didn't work out so well. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do this one. So
I do like Howard Schultz a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with what he developed and how he thinks. I think he's a great businessman.
Yeah. This was another question from one of our lovely REMs. If there's a movie about your life and this company specifically, who would play you?
Who don't want?
Or who would you want to play you?
Who want to play me, or who would play me? Who do you guys think?
Antonio Banderas.
That's a good one, Antonio Banderas. I'll take that. Well, I don't know. I have a few who I would want, but those are really dreams. Right? Everyone wants a Ryan Reynolds or a Glenn Powell, right? Those would be two. Or Jake Gyllenhaal. Although I used to say Manny looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
I could see it.
But maybe Shia LaBeouf. Would he play? He's kind of got curly.
Sounded like we had some good responses to that.
Well, maybe I should just stop there.
Yeah. No, please.
He's kind of weird, but I think he's a really good actor. Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Look at this. He can really get into a role. Okay. I don't look like him at all. I wish I did. This is one of the best. Robert Downey Jr. I mean, come on. Iron Man. You can read that.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that guy? Some other good actors, but Christian Bale.
Love him.
Yeah. Or Daniel Day-Lewis. He's a good one.
He can do anything.
You know who I like? I'd probably look more like Ben Affleck, but his brother Casey, I think, is Casey Affleck. He's a really good actor. So those would be some of my. If I'm punching above my weight class, maybe.
In an ideal world.
But please don't say Tom Hanks, because he's a really good actor. He's kind of gotten up there. And so maybe Clyde Bowen. I don't know. No, I don't know. Okay.
I could see that.
Maybe not.
Yeah. What excites you most about the next 5 years of retail?
For us specifically?
Sure. Or it could be in general.
Right now, we're getting into Ashley Lux. Have you guys heard of Ashley Lux?
Yes, very excited for that.
Very dedicated to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so my wife really likes shopping at other brands and find. We've had RH stuff that was not comfortable. We actually just got rid of it. We're getting now the Mod Match, which I'm super excited about. That's why we were in Pineville shopping together. And so in our house. So Ashley Lux is kind of inspired by some of these luxury brands, and so I really think for us, moving into areas we've never gone before as a brand on product quality, on branding, on having people who you would really recognize represent these sub brands, and music that you would really recognize. So celebrities and music, I think that's where we're going as a brand. So I'm really excited with the new leadership running Ashley Global Retail. Chad Spencer, who I mentioned, is a great friend of mine. And the whole team at formerly DSG, now the AGR team, because they kind of merged them with their AGR red, AGR yellow. They put them together and trying to get the AGR orange. They've got a phenomenal management team, and we're very highly aligned with them culturally and operationally. We've learned a lot from them over the years, and vice versa. And they think like retailers. So I'm really excited about the future of kind of where they're going with a lot of input from us. We're on 3 of their committees. I'm on the CEO Council. Lynn is on the Merchandising Center of Excellence. And Kim and I are on the Marketing COE Center of Excellence. And so we kind of collaborate on the brand, on marketing, on promotions, on product development and design. And I'm also really excited about where our stores are going, with the 7.0, and now that we're getting into like the Superstore concept, which is kind of the Spokane store. So that's kind of specific to Ashley and to kind of where retail's going for us. Someone told me the other day from Synchrony, when are you going to put Starbucks in your stores?
Now there's an idea.
That's above my pay grade. I think that the one thing about Ashley is they're a dirty fingernails, gritty company, and they're going to continue to try to innovate. And, with retail, you kind of have to be thinking 5 to 10 years out and, kind of where you're going to plot your stores. And Todd Wanick is on record for calling it a battle of titans, or a game of, clash of titans, I think is the phrasing he used. And so you're going to get bigger, more experiential retail, more with electronics. If you go to Las Vegas, the new store they just built out there, the Superstore they just built, is a whole Samsung display, and so doing a partnership with them. So I think it's going to be bigger, more experiential, and with Broad River, though, we're still going to be in small towns, too. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll have a lot of different ways to approach the market and have small town stores, outlet stores, superstores, standard stores, 2-in-1 stores, who knows, maybe 3-in-1 stores, and we'll continue innovating. I think just in business in general, it's really exciting to kind of see how AI is going to transform business and transform just little incremental changes from how we interact with our customers, or how we write emails, or come up with presentations. I mean, just things like that, or how we plan on where we're going to go and run it through an AI program. And hey, does this kind of pass all of our filters? So hopefully it'll make us smarter and get wiser together that way.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. If you could describe your vision, since we're talking about the future, if you could describe your vision for the company in one word, what would it be?
Okay. If you've heard nothing else, this is my favorite question. And I was mad at this question for a few days. And you know how when you wrestle with a question, you're like, how can you just distill it down to one word? Who asked that question, by the way?
Actually, that was me.
That was you? Okay. Mm-hmm. So I was mad at it, but then it became my favorite question. Because I was going through a bunch of words, and it hit me on a run yesterday. And then I validated, and I have a whole lot of papers printed out because I want to talk about it. And I validated it through help with ChatGPT. But I do have one word. And I don't know if it describes the vision for the company or just the word that I would use to describe the company. If I can just kind of,
sure.
Maybe they're both applicable. Anyone want to take any guesses? Because I don't think you'll get it. But we can see it. Maybe someone will. It might be an unexpected word. No guesses. No brave souls. No brave souls out there.
Kaizen?
Kaizen. Great guess. Great unexpected guess. And I love the word Kaizen. But that's not it.
Lanyard.
Man, another great word. But Will, I think that
These
would
are
fall
words?
flat for lanyard. Another great word. Also not it. 2 great guesses. Give me one more guess. I know someone is just
Tenacious.
Tenacious. Another great guess. No.
Tenacious seed.
Tenacious seed. The word is bamboo.
Oh.
I love that.
Why do you love it?
Because bamboo is strong.
Yeah, it is strong. Yeah. What else do you know about bamboo?
It grows
It grows really fast.
Does it start by growing really fast?
No.
Yeah. How does it start?
There's a little shoot in the ground.
For years.
Yeah, Chinese bamboo grows underground for a long time. So you don't really see its growth, but it's growing. Growing, learning all along the way. And then what you see is what looks like, all of a sudden, rapid growth. But to the untrained eye, what you might not see is all that foundational development that happened for years and years. And it's not just strong, I mean, it's resilient, right?
Yes.
It's hard to get rid of.
That's how you put it up. So it endures.
It endures.
It endures.
Yes.
Right? We want to endure. So this phrase that's really kind of percolating and resonating with me is gradually, then suddenly. And so I do have some positive associations with the word bamboo that I'd like to unpack.
Please.
Strength and resilience. Bamboo is incredibly strong relative to its weight and size. You heard me say we like to punch above our weight class. Often stronger than steel in tensile strength. This makes it a metaphor for reliability, durability, and endurance. We want to be a company that endures. And so a company branded as bamboo could signal trustworthiness and long-term staying power. Flexibility and adaptability is number 2. Bamboo bends without breaking, which symbolizes agility, adaptability, and resilience in the face of challenges. This aligns with modern business values like innovation, pivoting quickly, and thriving in uncertainty. We certainly have an uncertain world. Growth and sustainability is number 3. Bamboo grows very quickly, as you guys said, and renews itself, making it a global symbol of sustainable growth. It conveys eco-friendliness, scalability, and rapid expansion. Companies that want to project green or responsible branding benefit from this association. Number 4 is elegance and simplicity. The word bamboo has a clean, natural sound, 2 simple syllables, easy to pronounce, easy to remember. It evokes nature, calmness, and balance, which can add elegance to a brand. And then cultural and symbolic roots. So those were some of them. But I've got pages and pages why bamboo works. Deep foundations before visible growth, resilience, flexibility, strength in numbers, because bamboo forests grow together. To your point, it's hard to get rid of. So this phrase I like. Strength comes from the collective, much like a company culture that thrives on teamwork and shared purpose. So good. And I had some other words that I was thinking about, like premier, purpose, grit, high standards, compete, meritocracy, and dynasty, but those were not the best fit. We've built deep roots before our growth was visible. We bend without breaking in storms. We grow quickly and collectively with resilience and strength. I first heard about the story of bamboo from Phil Knight's book, Shoe Dog. Has anyone heard or listened to Shoe Dog? Far and away, the best narrated audiobook you'll ever listen to. The narrator is phenomenal, and it goes through each chapter is 1 year in the history of Nike, going back to like the 60s or even maybe the 50s, and tells it just magnificently. But he tells the story of bamboo, and that's kind of where I first learned it. So other phrases, you've heard many of us say, I would say this about Broad River, I would say this about my life or my career, an overnight success, 20 years in the making. We like to say you can't microwave culture. It takes a crock pot mentality. I think that associates well with bamboo. I talked about the gradually then suddenly and the compounding principle. So anyways, I think that was. I think there's also something about learning too, because the root system, it's knowledge accumulation, and bending without breaking is adaptability through learning, and fast compound growth is a learning curve acceleration. That's what this, and then collective growth is shared learning. And so anyways, another one is don't pay tuition twice. And so the bamboo grove shares its root system. Lessons learned by one stalk nourish the entire community. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know all this stuff. So it's not winning or losing, rather it's winning or learning. And bamboos don't lose when it spends years underground. It's you might say, man, that tree's not growing. No, it's preparing, it's learning and building strength. What looks like delay or setback is actually progress beneath the surface. I just think there's so much here.
That's
I won't
so
bore
cool.
you with any more of it, but and so it captures our 5 core values really well. And if you added a 6th core value, it'd be continuous learning is what this thing said. So anyways, that was the one that kind of hit me, and I validated it through a little bit of additional research, Josh.
That's so cool. I really appreciate that vision, that word. It's profound, actually. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Right?
Future word of the year. Yeah. Well, he said word the vision for the future. So
Yeah, yeah.
It was but thank you for that question.
Absolutely.
I was not happy with that question until about 5 p.m. yesterday. So
Yeah,
6
yeah,
p.m.
absolutely. Well, I don't know how we are on time. If we wanted to maybe open up the floor, if anybody wanted to ask some questions for Charlie while we have him.
No surprise, I went long. My bad.
That's okay.
You didn't specify which ones that you rejected. What markets did you say no thanks to? Tennessee, maybe. Yeah. One.
We just want to know about Tennessee and Newburgh, really.
No, if nothing happened in Tennessee, not Tennessee.
I'm not going to go there. We can talk offline.
Okay.
Broad River, Alaska.
Go ahead, Jason.
How do you personally see the role of REM or AMRO changing in the next few years? Do you think it will? Do you think it's fine as is? Do you think there's little tweaks coming, or what do you think?
It's a really good question. Have we done a study on this recently? In thinking about it, Will? Yes. Yeah. So first of all, we went through a great transition, and we talked about all these kind of things. We took non-traditional thinking because we didn't know any better and put them into our business. And 15 years ago, maybe 16, 17. I can't remember. I get my years mixed up. But we were in a performance group, and when you're in a performance group, you stack rank your financials against everyone else, and you look at everything as a percentage of the pie, so to speak. And everyone's like customer service desk. We used to call them CSRs and SSRs and then GSRs. Was like 3 or 4 people at the desk, and that was. There was other ways to do it, but those, the desk was taking care of everything. And like, by the way, the RSA, the salesperson at the time, wasn't keying their own sale. They were writing it on a piece of paper and then handing it to the SSR to then key the sale. Like, there's got to be a better way. And it was like almost sacrilege to like, oh no, you can't trust them to key their own sales. Yes, we can. We got this. We're gonna. So we just kind of transformed the role and rethought it, and we really took a lot of cost out of the business in so doing, and really kind of elevated the position and made it more of a desirable position, and not like back then we would start off GSRs like $10 an hour. But most of the time is idle time. A lot of the time was like scanning and uploading documents. Hours upon hours of scanning and uploading documents. Some of you may remember that. I don't know. There's not a problem with our financials right now. There's not a problem with the business model. And I don't personally have a desire to like go like REM-less in our stores per se. And I don't know that there's any kind of movement to do that. Like, we centralize a lot of functions. I think the REM position now, maybe what it was a vision to be, we got to make sure that like the skill sets that we're hiring for, the people who we're recruiting for those jobs, and the jobs that we're asking them to do all align really well and all serve the business well and serve our people really well. Ultimately, we got to drive sales, but there's a lot of tangential things to driving sales, like, hey, did you know it helps to have really good Google scores to like when people can find you and look to where to go shop? Oh yeah, it's high value equation right there. Did you know that writing sales accurately, having another MOD, manager on duty, has high value? And so, now we might have a lot of different models. We might have a store that does $1 million a year and one that does $30 million a year. And I'm giving really wide, differences there. And so does the store that does $1 million a year, maybe it needs a little different model. Like we're testing out in a small store, a selling GM. So we'll be creative and adaptive, or maybe go to a $30 million a year store. Hey, maybe one's not going to get it done, or 1.5's not, or 2's not going to get it done. Kind of have to think through the activity and the needs of the store and the traffic flow. But I think using maybe AI to continue to kind of think through how to propel the business forward and do our jobs better and easier, and making the jobs more human, less robotic, less menial, is always a good thing. And trying to figure out how to drive business successfully. Maybe there's more with product knowledge and product training. I could just pontificate and come up with ideas off the cuff that you gotta come up with a lot of ideas to have like one really good one. I just saw the stat. It was like one of the chief innovation guys at McDonald's who gave this talk was like they have to come up with 4,000 ideas to implement 2 or 3 of them. So you do need to kind of be willing to kind of throw a whole lot of stuff out there and ask these what if questions. But I don't have.
Looking at the internals of how everything works.
Yeah, and it does help to kind of have go to the source, go to the people doing the job, and ask them. You know, Kat Cole, who's the AG1, who kind of came up through the ranks. You know, she asked people 3 questions. Hey, what's one thing? And I've heard different versions of this. If I were to ask you or Carrie, or what's one thing that we should start doing that we're not currently doing? What's one thing that we should stop doing that we're currently doing? And what's one thing that we should continue doing or keep doing? And like that would, and then just look for themes. And so maybe that's an exercise that we can kind of come up with some version of that in here with Kelly, and then kind of see what those themes kind of create. Because you guys probably know things like, why are we doing this? There's no purpose for it. And let's have that conversation. Or why are we not doing this? Because this is what the store needs or the business needs.
It's funny you should mention that. We actually have a anonymous box with a question: what should we change or stop doing, for everybody to fill out? So
the gold is all right here.
yeah.
So you're asking. Yeah, you're asking.
Yeah.
Me, you guys have all the answers to it.
Anybody else have a question for Charlie?
We'll go easy on you. But if personal or professional or company.
I just have good ones.
All right, go ahead, Jessica. We want hang on. Ted, do you have one?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go Ted, then Jessica.
Well, just curious, you know, Salisbury's been open for, almost 2 years now. We got that space next door that we can't rent, we can't do anything. Have you thought about doing a concept like Ashley Kids, you know,
Yeah.
in that location, or something like that?
Well, you say that we can't rent. It just takes a long time.
Oh, well,
Because it has an awkward kind of parking situation. We actually have an active LOI and an interested tenant on it right now. We've had others interested and just kind of haven't gotten across the goal line. Learning is from the landlord, it just takes time. But we do have interested tenant who hopefully we'll have in there before too long. Look, our initial vision, Ted's asking in Salisbury, we bought an 83 or 85,000 square foot Kmart, and our first vision and pitch to Ashley was, hey, can we do an Ashley World? And we're going to have Ashley Mattress, Ashley Outlet, Ashley Store, Ashley Outdoor, Ashley Kids, and just kind of build them all out. And they weren't ready for us, and they rejected that idea, actually, by the way. And also, it would have made the economics, because like Ashley's not going to, like Broad River Retail is not going to get that space for free, so we'd have to pay rent, so it would drive the occupancy cost. And one thing we're very mindful is making sure that our occupancy cost, do you know what I mean when I say that? Occupancy is the most inflexible cost we have in our entity, in our company. It's our rent. Rent plus our taxes, insurance, CAM, property insurance, taxes, CAM, and utilities. Like once you sign a 10-year lease, those costs are locked in. And what took a lot of companies down in our industry in the Great Recession was their occupancy costs. The leases they signed from 04 to 07 took them down, and half the businesses or stores closed because revenues got cut in half overnight, and all of a sudden they go from making money to losing money. They go from being able to afford to spend such and such to being able to afford negative to spend on advertising and things of that nature, because you can't change your rent rates easily. And so I'm very mindful of not getting out over our skis on our occupancy without a proven method of a return on investment. And so there is no Ashley Outdoor concept or Ashley Kids concept, and the product line's not there per se right now to satisfy the entire retail concept. And so the cost benefit analysis, plus you have to put a lot of cost in it to build it out, wouldn't work. So I think the Gastonia rent, for the size store, it's where it needs to be for now. So not really entertaining expansion at this point, because I think it was the right decision not to do a 70 or 80,000 square foot concept. Maybe one day, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road. But we do have a new tenant who's interested in it. So I think you're going to have a neighbor before too long. Good question.
So I've been handing out these little motivational squares today, because we started doing it at our store, and it's actually, in addition to gratitude, starts the day off nicely when you have something positive you can think on. Do you have a positive quote or motivational saying that maybe you say to yourself a lot, or an author that has a lot of these kind of gems that you're like, oh man, so-and-so has a lot of those good motivational quotes or gems that maybe I can look into?
Well, I have a great recommendation for you. Have you heard of John Acuff?
Yes, he came to the Purpose Summit, didn't he?
Well, we just had him here a couple weeks ago at our 828 event, Pioneering the Path, and we bought these soundtracks cards, and he wrote a book called Soundtracks, and then he wrote another book, All It Takes Is a Goal. He's written like 10 New York Times bestsellers, maybe more. But the Soundtracks cards are like a 52 deck of cards, and they're like the bestsellers out there. And so one of the phrases that really resonates is, the hills pay the bills. So he's a runner, and so he doesn't look negatively at the hills. He's like, nope, that's what I got to do. I got to do the hard things. So it's try to overcome avoid comfort or procrastination, and the hills pay the bills. So that's something I need to do, because that's going to make it easier down the road. So I would say get those Soundtracks cards, because they've been very popular in our stores with our retail teams who have them.
I think Nathan actually bought some for our store.
Yes.
We can get. We're probably going to do another bulk purchase of them. They're like, I think we bought them in bulk for like $10 a pack. And
There's some out here, but probably not that much.
yeah, so we got some that we can get you. Yeah, what's that one say?
You don't feel motivated, you practice motivation.
That's right. You don't feel motivated, you practice motivation. I have a lot. I probably borrow and steal from guys that I hear all the time. Mark Batterson has a couple of Einstein quotes. Never lose a holy curiosity. And another one is, he took this quote, I think from Lenin, that said, there are decades when nothing happens. And he said, but there are days when decades happen. And if you look back at your life, and those tentpole days in your life that your life maybe changed, and so I think that kind of reinforces this, let me be grateful for the day. Let me be grateful for the breath in my lungs today. And sometimes I need to just be reminded of that. I love the John Wooden quote that he got from his dad. One of them is, make each day its own masterpiece. I try to win the day every day that I can, that I'm here above board. And the older you get, the more, I never used to think about legacy or the end of my life. And the older you get, you kind of start to think about the finiteness of it. And then when you get kids, you try to think about, well, what are you going to leave behind? And what are you going to pour into people, into others, to try to help pay it forward in a sense and leave it better than you found it. Matthew 25:23 is kind of my life verse in Scripture, which is, when I get to the end of my life, I want to hear him say, well done, good and faithful servant. So that's just what I try to live by.
I like that. Okay, I think Chris had a question.
So in our chat today, you have presented as fairly thoughtful and attempt to be well informed in the decisions made along the way to getting us to where we are today. To the contrast that, what do you think along the journey of Broad River has been the biggest misstep and decision that had to be course corrected more than anything else that sticks out in your mind?
We're going to need a bigger boat. What's been the biggest misstep? I don't have time to go into all of that. I usually point to, look, we've had a lot of, thank you, first of all. Let this guy ask more questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for the.
It's gonna put me out of a job.
Yeah. Thank you for the incredibly kind words and sentiments there. We've had a lot of missteps. The biggest one was our 2015 moment and experience. We did an ERP conversion at the beginning of 2015. 2+ years in the planning. You'd think we would have known what we were doing. It didn't go well. We did an acquisition also at the beginning of January of 2015. And we also broke ground in the beginning of 2015 on this facility. And we essentially broke all of our bones. And we're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. In the first 6 months of 2015, we lost $8.8 million. Wow. And we got thrown into, we couldn't produce financial statements until late July 2015. And when we did, our bank probably projectile vomited on their computer screens. We didn't like call them to like say, hey, you're going to get some bad news here. We just kind of sent them some spreadsheets and not the way you want to do it at all. And we promptly got thrown into special assets, which is the first step before bankruptcy when they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with you. And so that whole experience, by the way, I got promoted to president and CEO in late June or early July 2015. And within 30 days, I get handed a financial statement that says, essentially what I already knew, that we've lost a lot of money and we're in big bad trouble. And we're about to run dry, and there's no more money here. And Jonathan had to kick in more money, and just about everything he had. We weren't a proven commodity. This thing was sinking fast, and we were going to. And I'd made commitments and promises. One day, all the sacrifice is going to be worth it. And I'd double down, put everything from my first company into this, and it was all about to kind of evaporate and be sold for like a lot less than what I bought in for, and so you think all your blood, sweat, and tears is all just going to go away, overnight. There goes 15 years of your first start of your career, and I say all that to say, best thing that ever happened to us. Best thing that ever happened to us. So we just kind of reset the business. We did a 100-day challenge called the Bold Reset, and we changed everything. And had that not happened to us, we would not have made all the tough decisions that we needed to make and survive. But there was a lot of divine intervention, a lot of faith along the way. But also we had invested 10,000 hours to kind of, we knew what we needed to do to fix and to change it. And then we just had some gritty people who kind of weren't going to let it go down. And so it's a great story. But that's another get to know you. Let's get to know the company.
Sometimes you have to break bones to mend them.
That's right.
So.
100%.
Anybody else? Oh, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, your time, your life to come and share all that with us. We really appreciate it.
Well, hopefully it's added some value. Thank you guys so much for listening. Oh, and by the way, hang on. Thank you so much for what you do. We could not do what we do, I mean this, without the work that you guys do. Oftentimes unseen, sometimes unrecognized or underappreciated. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you how much we do appreciate you, how much it does mean, how much you guys do contribute to all that we're able to do. And it's a really critical cornerstone position in our company. And we want to be the best. We want to hire the best. You guys want to be the best. I know that. I trust that. I believe that about you guys. And we want to continue to grow and prosper the company together so that we can all win together, and so we can have opportunities for everyone to continue to grow and provide for their families and to find fulfillment in their work. And that's always a good thing. And so and maybe we'll find a market that Christina wants to move to. Who knows? And it's been a true joy and an honor. Really tough questions. I don't know if I appreciate all of them because they made my brain hurt. But no, truly, thank you. And thanks for having me. Kelly, thanks for organizing this, and everyone else who asked the questions and contributed. Thank you guys so much. Really, truly appreciate you guys and appreciate your time. Thank you.
Give it up for Charlie.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.